job a lot easier. And moving forward, I can't wait to get going. Really got to just build on it. Breaking more tackles. I think to myself, I still had a couple more yards I left on the field, and I just got to improve on that aspect. And then just in the passing game, a couple of routes I wish I could have got back where Deshaun was looking for me, and I just ran the wrong route. So continue to correct those mistakes and building from that.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, David. When you are changing teams and you haven't played in a game with them before, how much is it? A lot of it, practice doesn't really, approximate what you're going to do in the game situation. And how encouraged were you by how it went? Considering you hadn't played with these guys before.
So yeah, like you said, practice is not as intense, and obviously there's no tackling. So the game is a lot different. We can get the techniques down, but especially for me, where I'm running the ball. Blocking and breaking tackles play a big emphasis, obviously, in the game compared to practice. And so that was the thing that I was geared and excited to get out there because there was no preseason. And so we didn't really get a chance to actually go through a real game mentality and being physical up front, running the ball. And so it felt great being out there. And, hopefully we can continue with the success on the run game.
Brian Merrifield. Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay, sorry. When you joined the team, you talked about that chip on your shoulder, the determination. What was just like emotionally to have a good game? I know you didn't get the win, but to play well and to kind of show what you were talking about in the offseason. Thank you.
Ultimately, like you said, we didn't get the win, so it's not as enjoyable as I wish it could have been. And I felt like I said I definitely could have helped us a little bit more, but it did feel good being out there and running the ball well. And I didn't really even get that many carries just because of the situation. And so I felt like, for me, I was very pleased with just the beginning. This is the first game, really. No preseason game. This is the first game where we actually got to go up there and run the ball and with tackling and stuff. So I was very pleased. And I think for me, I think there's a lot that we can definitely build on, and especially for myself. And I feel like it's definitely a positive thing, though, from last week.
Brian.
David, you're one of the newest additions to the Texans offense. How impressed were you by Deshaun Watson? You watched him on film or some of his past games, but what is it like playing with him so far in game one?
It's a whole different story from watching him. I was very impressed just watching from outside looking in, just watching film and stuff. We played the Texans previous years, but now that I'm teammates with him, and just to see his composure, for one, he's always seeming like he's knowing what he's doing. He always seems like he has a command and control of the offense and the game. Honestly, he never seems like he's too anxious. Yeah, he knows what to do in every situation. And so for me to see that, his poise in the pocket, running the ball, knowing what to do, changing the plays, depending on what the defense does, it's been really good to see. And I feel like for him, he's still young. And I feel like he definitely still is going to continue to do even more for us and going forward for the offense as well.
Aaron Reese.
Hey, David, kind of along those lines, what is the adjustment period like for you just in pass protection or when you're running routes going to get with a guy like Deshaun who is so good at improvising?
For me, that's a thing. Just being in front of my man, he can move so quick, and his feet are so good. He has good balance that I just got to stay in front of him. I don't necessarily have to stonewall him and push him all the way back, to the sidelines. I hope to do that, but with a guy like Deshaun, he can be able to move around in the pocket and keep his eyes downfield and throw the ball as long as I'm just in front of the guy and don't let the guy get a free run at him.
A lot of defenders around the league seem to have been saying that tackling kind of is just something that'll take some time to get used to with no preseason games. That's obviously a good thing for you if that is the case. But is that something you got a feel for early, just kind of running the ball?
Yeah, I would say tackling, since there's no preseason games, and I don't know what the other teams did, the other defense did as far as if they tackled or had a scrimmage or anything. But just for me watching games, not just ours, but games around the league this weekend, I can tell that, tackling, they kind of just have to get, back into the groove of things and get callous to tackling, I guess.
Brandon.
Hey, David, what are just your overall impressions of what the Ravens do in the run game?
Honestly, I don't watch too much of their run game. I'm more or less worried about their defense and keying in on the defense. But obviously, everyone knows about Lamar and Mark and that they're good runners first, and that they're hard runners, especially. And also, I think it's J.K. He's a good runner as well. So everyone knows how good they are as just a running offense in general.
Christy?
What would you say was the most difficult thing about adjusting to a new team? And was it more difficult to kind of adjust and get ready for the game? Like you said, when there's no preseason games and the first time you're out there, it counts.
Yeah, I would say the most difficult thing, I think, is the communication and the getting connected and being in sync with the O-line as far as how they block. And then with the quarterback handing the ball off, or, just as far as the offense, knowing the offense. I think that'd be the toughest thing, is just being in sync with everyone, knowing how the guys up front block, so I can, run through the hole the right way, or how they're going to block it and everything like that. And then it was definitely tough. We first off didn't have OTAs, and that's really important for a guy who's getting traded or being on a new team, is going through OTAs, because that's a great mental thing to go through, and learning the plays, because you got so many months before the first game. And so I think that was the toughest thing, is just that we didn't even get to meet during OTAs. We had to do Zoom, and I feel like for me, I learned better in person, walkthroughs, practice, and things of that nature.
Aaron Wilson?
David, one thing that was a issue in the first game was pass protection, which is shared amongst the backs, the line, the tight ends, everybody. With Deshaun being hit that much, and now you're playing the Ravens and playing Matt Judon and Calais Campbell, those type of players, how much is that a big priority this week to just really keep him protected, keep him from getting hit less often?
I think for me, just personally, I got to make sure I know what I'm doing. I only had one blitz pickup against Kansas, and so I know with the Ravens, I think they said they blitz like 80% of the time or something. So for me, I know I got to do my job, worry about what my responsibilities is, and worry about keeping Deshaun upright. And so I got to know how to, scan and everything like that against this exotic defense. And like you said, they have a pretty good upfront guys. One of my guys, Calais, I can't wait to battle against him.
Ryan?
David, first game was against the Super Bowl champion. Second game is against Super Bowl contenders. Do you think that this will be a good measuring stick to see where you all are, early on in the season, what you all can improve on?
Well, definitely. I think the league definitely front-loaded the schedules, and we have a pretty tough schedule. And like you said, going against the defending champions, and then against the Ravens, who's always been up there with Lamar in the playoffs and stuff. So I think, it's going to be a good measurement for our team. But I think we have a great team. I know we have a great team. Just got to, correct the little things for me as well. I got a lot of stuff to improve on. And like you said, this is my first, last game was my first real game. No preseason, so I still have a lot to improve on.
Thanks, David.